Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. How would you react if someone said, "My father's a police officer, and you're going to be sorry"? Let's see what our OP answered in the first story. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Parking lot revenge. The stage is the local big box retailer parking lot. I'd parked my Ford Explorer on the side of the store between two minivans, and as such, my visibility for backing out of my space was impaired. I ease out slowly, only to hear a furious horn and a red Dodge Neon fly by, coming from the back side of the store. Damn, lady, excuse me. I finish my backing procedure and see her waiting at the end of the row, about even with the front of the store. She's right in the middle, and I have enough room to get around her on the right and turn right to exit the lot. I do so, and as I'm pulling away, I see her in my rearview mirror, gassing it hard, coming after me. Oh, so you want to discuss this further, do you? I hit the brakes, kinda hard, and you can guess the predictable outcome. Keep in mind, this is a truck. I tow a small camper. It's got a Class 3 receiver hitch. These do not give, at all. I hop out and see that she has impaled the nose of her pretty little red car on my hitch. There's coolant, there's transmission fluid, there are words, many of them foul, from both her and her passenger boyfriend. I smile as the language pours forth until she gets to the part where she exclaims that her father is on the police force and I'm going to be sorry. At that point, I inform her that in the case of a rear-end collision, the rearmost vehicle is almost always cited for failure to maintain a safe following distance, and her father should be able to explain that to her. Police are called and some random patrolman shows up, statements are taken, but no citations are issued as it's private property. I see her and her friend pull away, trailing fluids, and as a last measure of justice, I see her car doesn't even have a permanent tag yet, just a paper dealership plate. I pop back into the store to buy a new trailer plug connector. And our second story. They want stone? Oh, I'll give them stone. I work as a translator/interpreter for a foreign construction company in my country, translating between my foreign management and local suppliers. My culture and my management's culture are very different in terms of work ethic, which is a never-ending source of anger and anguish for my employers. That's why, although my job is to convey what they say, I often act as an intermediary when dealing with local companies. Just before Christmas, our main architect insisted on scheduling a meeting with a new mason supplier. I tried letting them know that maybe rescheduling for 2021 would be a good idea, because my country is pretty big on Christmas celebrations, and we all know that between December 20th and January 10th, nothing will be done. Everyone is going on holidays, and especially now with Plague around already slowing everything down, Christmas time was sure to be a standstill. However, as I said, the architect was adamant and the meeting was scheduled. Mason Supplier's representatives came and we spent close to 3 hours arguing sizes of slabs. We were informed that dimensions that our architect were demanding are not easy to obtain and would be rather costly because of enormous losses in raw materials, which in my home country is a clear message. You need to change your design or find another supplier because we can't meet your demands. Which is not a message that can be easily explained to my management, thus 3-hour-long meeting. And yes, one could think that we could go and try and find another mason supplier that could do it, but unfortunately, this one supplier is a sole owner of stone quarry with this particular stone that our investors fell in love with. So after a long and exhausting fight, our architects capitulated to the idea of changing the design. And when we thought that all was well, our main architect said that our company needs samples as soon as possible, when the supplier explained that as soon as possible means as soon as possible after January 10th. Once more, all hell was set loose. My management is still not used to not getting their way. In their culture, suppliers will do anything and everything that is demanded of them, and every no they hear, they take personally and think it's just an excuse and that the supplier is simply lazy. So they weren't open to being understanding after being forced to change their project just a moment earlier. It was another exhausting hour of explanations and demands where a local supplier informed us that samples that we want need to be cut manually, and it's more work than one might think. And with Christmas time upon us, they simply don't have enough hands on board to cut the slabs they already have, but they're happy to direct us to places where their stone was used so we can see how it looks in reality. That idea wasn't accepted, and it was said that we should be able to see how their product really looks without going anywhere. Finally, the meeting was ended with, "Fine, I don't care how you do it, but I need stone and I need it quick." Resigned Supplier conceded, and meeting was finished on a sour note. But at least my management was somewhat satisfied. Until last week. Our main architect called me, panicked that someone called them and it was probably a delivery driver. I called the number I was given, and true enough, it was a delivery driver. I went downstairs. Our office is on a first floor, no elevator, and the driver looked at me and smiled a little. "Oh, so I guess the package won't be delivered right to your hands." Now, when I mentioned earlier that we wanted samples, I meant little blocks of material, in this instance, type of stone, no more than 2 by 5 inches or 5 by 15 centimeters, give or take. So when I was pointing to the package, I was surprised to say the least. We were sent full-size industrial slabs of stone, all types we wanted to see. You know, big old pieces of stone that are usually used on elevations of fancy buildings. Massive things. But of course, neatly packed and secured standing in front of our office building. I can't say my management was furious. They were aghast. See, the only way to move the package as a whole is a forklift, but our entrance doors are not wide enough for a forklift to go through. Then there are stairs to tackle, which is a whole different story. A package like this is secured in a pallet-like wood structure and needs to be broken so individual slabs can be taken out. But we don't have equipment to pack it again if we were to open it. We can't open it, we can't bring it inside, and we now have a new fixture at the entrance. It's been a week since we got it, and for now it's being used as a bench by smoking coworkers. I don't know if there will be fallout, but as I mentioned earlier, we can't really drop this supplier. My management is quite silent about the whole issue, but one thing is clear, they'll not be asking for samples again, as they asked me to find buildings that our supplier mentioned during our December meeting. And I know that my management expects me to be as aghast and annoyed as they are, but the idea of someone in our supplier's company going, "They want stone? Oh, I'll give them stone," brings me so much unadulterated joy that my mood brightens up whenever I see our stone fixture outside. Hilarious. I would have loved to see the look on management's face. Thank you for sharing. And our last story. How I got revenge on my realtor. My husband and I met with the top realtor that a very popular agency had to offer. We saved for 2 years and were ready for a home. He was confident, encouraging, and made us feel like he could get us into our dream home. We reviewed financials with him, and he saw that we each had Tier 1 credit, both scores over 800, plus we had enough saved for a conventional loan. He was clearly so happy because he could smell that commission check. He brought out the contract. We discussed the buyer/agency contract, which didn't seem like a big deal because we were very serious about buying. We also knew most realtors did this, so it wasn't alarming. In case you don't know, this contract is standard, a 3-month contract stating that you will not buy/rent/lease any property without the realtor getting their fair commission, and if you go behind their back with someone else, they will be entitled to a percentage of whatever property you purchase. The clause he failed to mention, we missed, this was a 1-year contract. We weren't worried at first because, again, we were sure to be buying a property. Let me tell you, when we told him the price range we were looking at, about $150K under what the bank approved us for, he became completely upset and defensive. "Why are you dropping your standards? Don't you have any dying relatives who could co-sign so you can get the house paid off quicker? I don't want to show you houses in that area," etc. He saw that large commission check vanish before his eyes. We continued to stay in touch because what option did we have? We were contractually committed to buying a home through him and only him for the next year. We sent him links to many houses, asking when we can see them. He would take a week or two to respond back, and when my dream home slipped through my fingers due to his delays, I had enough. I politely asked if he would relinquish us from the contract as we clearly had different goals. I apologized for being upset, but told him why. I said I didn't feel like he was making us a priority and I would rather hire someone private. His response? "Well, I'll be running your financials for the next year to see if you buy/lease/rent anything. I'd reread that contract you signed and find a lawyer." Then he cut communication. I complained to the agency and they said try to work it out with the realtor himself. When I told them I already tried, they brought up the contract. I said I was going to speak to a lawyer about the contract. They laughed and said good luck. The lawyer informed me it could drain our account going against the agency, and we made the painful decision to wait him out the full year, saving a lot more money in the meantime. The contract ends and we find our perfect first home, above the original price we were approved for, and with the most amazing realtors we've ever met. During closing day at the realtor's office, the sellers of our home used the popular agency we just escaped from. Our previous realtor watched in the hallway as we signed for a house almost $150K more than we would have bought from him, exactly 1 month after our contract was up. He scrambled to find the now expired contract because he was sure he was about to win. I know a lot of people at the office were talking about it, and our realtors let us know what had happened after we left. It made me feel good to watch the horror on his face through the conference room windows as his superior told him to go home due to his frantic behavior. Apparently, he had been using company time and expenses to check on our financials weekly throughout the year in order to catch an easy check through a broken contract. There was no confrontation between us directly, but I definitely feel like we won that one. I looked on their company website, and his name has been removed from their listed agents. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.